Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
Today we're in our second week of Blairvember.
To remember.
Covering 1983's Chained Heat. Heat it up!
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
I didn't say it.
I don't know. Spooky ain't got no real poetry.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
You could have been decent once in a while. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creepy.
So, Chained Heat. We're now knee deep in Blairvember. And boy, have we started out with two real winners, huh?
Yeah, they both win the belt. I don't know what that belt signifies, but maybe it's a hubcap belt. It's a belt nonetheless, but they are heavy contenders, and to me, they win.
Yeah. So we're really excited about this one for a long time. Whether or not it's paid off, we'll find out. But boy, when we heard big Savage Streets fans, if you haven't listened to our, I believe, 5th episode, well, we're going way back now, Chris. Almost to the beginning of this show, that long 6 months ago when we started this.
I think that was March. I was in Australia when that aired, so that would be March for sure.
And we then found a Linda Blair movie where she's in prison. There's multiple ones. There's 2 of them, actually.
Are you sure which ones of them are actual movies?
Okay, one of them's called Chained Heat, which is this one, and the other one's just called Red Heat, which is not a sequel, but it's like Linda Blair in a Russian prison or something.
Sounds about right.
We might have to check that one out.
Are you sure it's not
if there's a Blairvember 2, we might have to check that one out. But boy, were we excited for this one. Hard to find. Had to order it on a 3-pack DVD set, which came with Red Heat.
Yeah.
And another movie with a lady who stars with Linda in this movie. Before we get into it today, let's take a listen to the trailer.
There's been far too many deaths in this prison.
Well, maybe you could tell me how to accommodate 2,000 inmates in a prison that was built for 1,500.
In this prison, rules and new inmates are meant to be broken.
Prison virgin? Well, after the shock rubs off, you'll get a picture. In here, it's not a matter of what you know. It's who you know.
Terrible things happen here. Terrible things.
Can't you do anything to stop it?
I'm trying, Carol. Trying, but it's very difficult.
The crimes these women committed that got them into this prison are nothing compared to the crimes they'll commit to get out.
Everybody clear this corridor, I call security.
The game that Taylor sets up for all the inmates.
Please, Miss Miller, don't put me in here. I'll take care of it.
She likes to pit blacks against whites. Don't get caught up in the game. Don't you walk away from me, you chalk-faced whore.
Where? Want it?
Yeah!
Caged women. Caged passions. Caged fury. Chained heat.
Yes.
There are scenes in that film that I wouldn't believe would be shown in trailers today, let alone back then.
Yeah, the description says original U.S. trailer. In what theater? I mean, there's a lot of nudity and violence in that trailer. But boy, if you saw that, you might be interested in going to see it. You're like, oh, well, this is full of action.
Yeah.
Now is it? We'll find out. So let's get into some of the trivia. Chained Heat, released May 27th, 1983. Now, this is from Wikipedia. It opened in 404 theaters nationwide and made over $2 million on its opening weekend, believe it or not. The film was in theaters for 2.5 weeks total, and as of 2009, the film's domestic gross was over $6 million. So not a failure, because it was a very cheap movie.
Yeah.
During its release, the film came under heavy fire from critics for its sexism and from gay rights activists for negative and stereotypical portrayals of lesbians as being violent and predatory. Well, they are in prison, so...
You take who you can get.
I don't think it's necessarily that it's lesbian. Chained Heat's current rating on Rotten Tomatoes is 20% positive.
Oh, wow.
Chained Heat was produced for $950,000, so it was a financial success.
That's successful, yeah.
The film was nominated for 2 Razzie Awards, including Worst Actress for Linda Blair and Worst Supporting Actress for Sybil Danning. So that's a shame.
Do you think, did Savage Streets ever get an award like that, or is it just...
Well, at least in Savage Streets, Linda did more than just cry. So I'd say that.
Yeah.
This movie is kind of a waste of Linda's talents. She just kind of like sits around moping the whole time.
She sits in the shower, cries, and...
Not the badass character we see in Savage Streets at all.
I thought it was going to be her, like, in jail, in kind of a Jack Hill, Switchblade Sisters kind of a role.
Not at all. This movie, oh boy, I can't wait to dive into it. So
it's tough.
There have been 2 sequels to this movie. 1993, Chained Heat 2, which starred Brigitte Nielsen, and 1998, so 93 was 10 years after this movie was made.
Oh my God.
1998, Chained Heat 3, Hell Mountain.
Oh, God.
Both sequels share the name, and pretty much that's it. No similarities to the original movie, which...
and why even use the name?
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Get some dumb shit.
Yeah, I like the Linda Blair movie. Maybe it's just as good.
I never remember the first one starring Brigitte Nielsen, but maybe I was confused. So Linda Blair says that the script kept getting rewritten, and the film ended up not resembling the script she had originally signed up for, which is a convenient excuse, Linda.
That's the same excuse, but fact for Savage Streets.
That's very true. Yeah. In the case of Savage Streets, it was probably a plus, because the way that came out with all its one-liners and brilliance was quite extraordinary. So we get into the rest of the cast and the crew here. We have Paul Nicholas, who's the director and writer of this movie. Can't really find any background on him. All I know is he is German. He has 11 credits. 1978, Boarding School, which he just wrote, screenwriter. 1983, Julie Darling. He wrote and directed that. 1986, so after this movie, The Naked Cage, which I'm assuming is pretty close to this. Wrote and directed that, and I wrote down... I didn't even write down the description. I just wrote basically the same damn movie. Because this description's like, a woman who's wrongly accused goes to jail.
And cries.
Yeah, and cries a lot. And then a riot. 1994, you're going to like this one. It's called Night of the Archer. He wrote and directed this, and it's about some archery contest, and like a rich guy gets killed by an arrow at the contest, and then like people are trying to investigate who killed him because somebody's trying to like get his heir money or something.
No.
So
great.
We got that.
Is it A Way Out?
Yeah. After that, he went back to Germany and made a few things there. Can't pronounce any of them because they're all in German. And then he just kind of quit and fell off the face of the earth in 1999.
Das Scheiße film.
I don't even know if he's dead or alive. Aaron Butler, who's the other writer of this movie, but he's not credited as Aaron Butler. His writing credit, he always uses the name Vincent Mongol. He was an actor in this movie. He plays the character Willie, which... I don't know who that is, but I think it might be that rapist guard.
Really?
Yeah. 2 writing credits, 1983's Chained Heat, and 1985, a movie called Hellhole. He only has 4 acting credits, but get this, Grindbin All-Star.
Oh!
1985, a movie you were not on the podcast for, Tomboy. He played the character of Todd. Linda Blair, who plays Carol Henderson, or as we're going to call her in the movie, Linda. Don't need to talk about Linda's background. Boy, we have a whole month dedicated to Linda Blair, and if you want to hear more about her, check out that Savage Streets episode. John Vernon
Ah, yes.
plays the Warden. Also a Grindbin all-star.
Yep.
He's also in Savage Streets, which is interesting because this movie was made before Savage Streets.
Yeah.
So they went on to make 2 movies in a row together. And he plays the Warden in this movie and the school principal in Savage Streets.
I feel like Savage Streets could have been the prequel to this film.
You know, that's an interesting concept, you know? They could have worked that angle.
Yeah.
Although she wasn't doing much crying in Savage Streets. Well, she was for a little bit, but then
You're gonna die, Vince.
yeah. Sybil Danning, who plays Erica. Now, this is not a Grindbin all-star, but a Grindhouse all-star. Definitely, for sure. 81 credits.
God bless
I'm going to
her.
read off a few to you. 1972, a movie you can find almost no information about, but I love the title, Sex Olympics. Bet you can guess what that's about.
Has to
What do
do
you
with
think the events are?
Getting the javelin through the hole.
What could the events be in Sex Olympics? I mean, there's only so many, you know? I mean, are we going from for like times, or are we having like judge scores? You know what I mean? Like, is it fastest, or is it out of 5? You know, like a diving score or gymnastics score?
I can tell you what the diving board probably is.
Boing, boing, boing. 1972, Naughty Nymphs. I bet you guessed that one. And okay, goes from that immediately into 1973's The Three Musketeers. Much more respectable role. 19. What a fucking.
What a comeback.
Yeah, serious. Like Sex Olympics, Naughty Nymphs in the same year, and then boom, Three Musketeers. What do you think that casting call is like? Oh, I saw you. You were great in the Sex Olympics. You know, you'd be great in this PG-rated Three Musketeers.
Wasn't that a Disney movie?
I think so.
Yeah, I remember that.
1983, Hercules. 1984, Jungle Warriors. 1985, Malibu Express. 1985, Howling 2, Your Sister's a Werewolf. 1986, Reform Schoolgirls. 1987, Amazon Women on the Moon.
I think she's devolving. She's off the wagon.
Okay, 2007, Grindhouse.
No shit.
She plays Gretchen Krupp, who is in the Werewolf Women of the SS trailer, which was by Rob Zombie. And then in 2007, the same year, was in Rob Zombie's remake of Halloween as Nurse Wynn. She is still around and still working. Sybil Danning plays Erica in this movie, who's the other main person, I guess.
They all kind of blend. Their hairstyles are too similar, where I just lose track of who's who.
Well, they're both taller than Linda. I get that, you know. Because here we got the other one, Tamara Dobson, who plays Duchess, who is the I guess rival of Erica. So Erica's the tall white woman, and Duchess is the tall black woman.
Right.
And they are both the leaders of rival cell block gangs. She has only 11 credits. However, some big ones. 1972, she was in a movie called Fuzz. 1973, Cleopatra Jones, because she is Cleopatra Jones. 1975, she was in Cleopatra Jones and the Casino of Gold. And then 1976, you're going to like... This one's crazy. The movie has a question mark in the title, and it just says, Norman, ... is that you? It stars Red Fox from Sanford and Son. Now here's the description of this, Chris. This is the movie that would never be made today and probably never be shown when I read you this. A black man is distraught when he discovers his son is gay and is determined to set him right.
I don't know what's worse, that or The Day the Clown Cried. Is that that Jerry Lee Lewis one?
Yeah, Jerry Lewis as a clown. One of the most infamous movies of all time. He's a clown who entertains people before they go into the gas chamber.
In concentration camps.
And
in World War
my
II.
joke with that movie is there's got to be a part where Jerry goes, "Hi, Hitler," you know? You don't think so? You don't think that's a line of the movie?
I do not.
Apparently it's very serious, you know.
Yeah.
That's why it's a serious movie, Chris.
Well, yeah, I know. We won't be able to see it for another 20 years.
Yeah, apparently it's going to be released upon his death.
Yeah.
And we'll see if my line made it in the movie. 1977, a TV movie. I love the name of this movie, and I love the description even more. Murder at the World Series. The description: a disturbed young man who had tried out for the Houston Astros baseball team and been rejected plots to take his revenge by a series of kidnappings. This was a TV movie.
Oh, that's a relief.
1984, another TV movie called Amazon. A secret cult of beautiful, large-breasted female warriors plots to take over the world by killing off important male politicians. Interesting one.
Yeah.
The Guinness Book of World Records recognizes Tamara Dobson as the tallest leading lady ever in a film at 6'2". She was diagnosed with MS though in the year 2000. She passed away in 2006 in Baltimore. She did receive a special tribute as part of the annual memorial at the 79th Annual Academy Awards in 2007.
That's good.
Stella Stevens, who plays Captain Taylor. 141 credits.
Really?
Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed it either.
No.
So many TV shows and movies. I just wrote down two. 1963, she was in The Nutty Professor as Stella Purdy. And 1972, she was in The Poseidon Adventure, which is a connection to Catch the Heat, written by Sterling Silliphant.
Yeah,
And that's all I have for the cast and the crew. And now...
Wow, really empty the bin on that one.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that were in this that were in other things, but in our effort to shorten the length of these episodes, I've condensed that. So, the beginning of the movie, we have a cold opening to this movie. A guard walks down a hall, and a girl is scared in this cell. And then the girl grabs this gun from under her mattress. And then a male guard walks in, and he starts taking off his shirt, and he says...
I'll never understand why scum like you make such a big deal out of a little fuck. Besides, I paid double this time, but you're worth it.
When he says, I paid double this time.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't matter for her.
No,
he's
what
not
is-
paying the prisoner. He's paying the guard. Hey, look, I paid double this time, all right?
God damn it.
Is she going to get extra food?
In Catch the Heat, where it's like Tatiana's her Waldo to her at the beginning. He's like, her sister was raped. Like telling her.
Yeah, it's like justification. He says, I paid double. Okay. Paid who, by the way?
They never disclosed that. They never disclosed that.
Okay, so she points the gun at him, and then the other guard. We just see like shots of other guards like grabbing a bunch of guns, and they sneak up on her because she like gets him out in the hallway, and she's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and he's like, "Don't do it," and then these other guards just like open fire on her and just kill her.
Yeah.
And then they run over, and the guy's like, well, this gun isn't even real. And then of course it's not fucking real, by the way. It's a fucking prisoner. How's she gonna get a handgun?
That's kind of like the grenade that was in Police Woman in the laundry room.
Yeah, very much so. And by the way, this prison, way worse run than the Police Woman one. I mean, this is ridiculous, the amount of shit that goes on in this prison. And where they're allowed to go. I mean,
they're almost allowed to be casually dressed at some point.
You know what? This is like the Club Med of prisons. And by the way, it's not a minimum security prison. No. We're talking about murderers that are in this prison. But for some reason, it's just the fucking Club Med. You can... you want to go outside your cell at any time of day or night. Who fucking
the
cares?
cell doors are like wide open. They're just kind of like... Da-da-da-da-da.
Hey, Chris, you want to go hang out in that dark basement? Yeah, be our guest.
The Tombs? Yeah, let's go to the Tombs, hang out.
You want to take a shower in the middle of the night? Yeah, fuck it. The Tomb. Yeah, they call it the fucking Tomb. All right, so then they find out the gun isn't real, and we just see credits roll over at this dead woman's body. Then we cut to a prison transport, and we see Linda Blair, and she's sitting in the back of this thing, handcuffed, and she's crying, which she'll be doing for most of this movie.
Yep.
And this lady who's her friend... Okay, so I found out at the end of the movie, I guess her name is Val, but I just kept calling her Linda's friend because I didn't know she had a fucking name.
Again, I lose track of who's who because of both the hair and everyone's mixing and matching, and...
Oh, and the hair, by the way.
Yeah.
So big.
Yeah.
The only one who doesn't have a big hair is Linda. But some of these hairdos, I mean, they go I mean, talk about the Guinness Book of World Records. You know, we might need to bring it in for this movie.
In fact, where do they have? Where are their beauty supplies to make their hair this big, this detailed? It's
Chris,
perfectly curled, perfectly primped. Their makeup.
Everyone has fucking perms. Okay, half the prisoners have perms. One lady has like big Texas hair.
Yeah,
like she's got a fucking beehive.
Yeah.
That's one of the first things I wrote in this. I go,
yeah,
they got a lot of hair product in this prison.
Yep.
And makeup. Mm-hmm. Like everybody's all well done up and everything.
Club Med, Mike. Club Med.
And so they're in this prison transport, and Val looks over at Linda and she says, what are you, prison virgin or something? Linda's like, yeah. And she's like, well, what are you in for? And she goes, Linda's like, well, I hit a guy with my car. It was an accident, and now I got to be in here for 18 months or something. And her new friend just goes, yeah, sure. It's like, why would she lie about that? And she want to make herself seem like more tough, you know? Yeah, kill the fucking guy, you know? But she's like, no, I killed a guy. I'm really scared right now. And she's like, yeah, sure, bitch. By the way, what the fuck is Val in here for? Nicest prisoner you'll ever meet, you know?
Who knows? Who cares?
So this lady, okay, so Val says, well, stick with the right people, you'll be fine. And that's where we see a shot of this prison transport, and every woman in this prison transport is way too well dressed and way too attractive to be in prison. Like, it's like they fucking busted a Playboy shoot or something. Like, all these girls are in, like, you know, short dresses.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's like, well, by the way, full makeup and like dresses for like the day they got to go to jail.
Again, they look like a 1985 hard on their look Leah Thompson.
Not even hard on her luck. I mean, they look like Leah Thompson going to the prom and Back to the Future.
Going to the premiere.
Like these ladies going to prison.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, well, today's your sentencing day, and they're like, well, I gotta get made up nice, you know?
Yeah.
What are they gonna think of me if I go and look bad? It's all about appearances at that jail, you know?
No one's gonna want to fuck me.
Like, you know, if you go to jail, you're probably like, I'm just gonna throw on the whatever clothes. I'm not gonna even comb my hair. Like, what the fuck do you care at that point? You're like, I'm just, you know, you got to go serve your time. You're not getting made up. You're not going to a social.
No.
You know, drinks will not be served.
There will be no ladies' choice of dance.
There's no point in wearing that high-cut dress, lady. Like, I want to look good for my mugshot.
Leave the corsage at home.
Oh, God. Yeah, they're all ready for the prison formal. So,
it's like homecoming.
Then we cut to inside the prison, and the gang. Okay, so Sybil Danning, like Erica, and her like Texas hair lady friend, who we never find out her name, are selling drugs, and this like younger redhead, right? This other Playboy model that somehow found herself in jail is like, I need to score, and they I guess sell her some drugs, and then we go to the holding cell, and now Linda and those girls they're in the cell now. They've arrived at the prison, and the first thing Linda sees is this lady go into this stall and just she gets on her knees and just starts throwing up. And Linda looks terrified at this, and then the lady just comes out of the stall and just passes out on the ground.
Welcome to prison.
And then the lady from Last American Virgin, the crazy one who I said sounded like Charo, you know, the one who's like, like la, 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 in that movie.
Yeah,
she's in this movie. She plays the character of Bubbles.
Oh, I didn't know
that. Yeah, you remember the like? She looks exactly the same, and she's like, "Oh, and I am in prison because I like to steal a TV."
Oh yeah. Oh yes. The blonde one, right?
Yeah. She introduces herself to like Linda's friend Val, and she's like, "Oh, you're a repeat?" Yeah, and then they high five about it. Okay. Yeah, and this was just something about how she steals TVs because she loves TV so much she has to steal them. Okay. You sure she's not in jail for having sex with underage boys? Like, maybe the hammer came down, you know? The pizza.
This is a roommate situation.
They had this big sting operation. You just have like... You just have this big sting operation where they're like, all right, we get it. Every pizza boy in town's been walking in this place with a big ass boner. They're showing up all hours of the night with pizza boxes.
They leave still with the pizza.
Yeah, they're leaving with the pizza box and wet pants. So we don't know what the fuck's going on in this place. So then we cut to John Vernon, the saving grace of this movie. Really, honestly, he knows exactly what movie he's in, and he is enjoying every second of this. He's in a hot tub, with this video camera and a giant cigar in his mouth, and he's taping that redhead from earlier who had a score, and like getting her to undress for the camera. And she goes, "Are you gonna make me a star, Ernie?"
I love that.
Right, star for what?
Like you're in jail.
This is a fucking warden. What the fuck's he gonna do?
Does she think he's a director? Is he a producer? Like, no.
You know, of
course
Vernon's
not.
got quite the racket, right?
He does.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's high on the hog, Mike. He's high on the hog.
He really is. He's just sitting in his hot tub. I can't even get. We're gonna get more into his office, aka prison apartment.
Yeah, condo.
Maybe cell. Who knows? Who the fuck knows with this? This thing is so confusing. Oh god. So then we go down to this basement, or is what do they call it? The tomb. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, there's a reason it's called the tomb. A lot of people dying down there, so, you know.
They just kind of left there.
Yeah, pretty much.
Left there until you're found.
Fuck it, you know? And by the way, there's never any lights on down in this tomb.
No.
Apparently they're like, when they mean lights out, they mean lights out. And it just, don't worry, prisoners, you can go down and run any business you want down in this, the boiler room.
No supervision.
So we see that gang, Erica and her big-haired friend, making a shiv in the basement. Oh, and they also have a friend. They have this friend who's a redheaded lady who has also the biggest perm you've ever seen.
Yeah. Jesus.
So they're making they're not even making a shiv. They're like making a knife. It's not even a shiv.
It's like perfectly shined. It's polished.
Yeah.
It's like there's a finish to it.
There's like a goddamn handle to this thing.
Yeah.
Like not like they grabbed some piece of wood and shoved a piece of metal in it. No. This is like a leather wrapped handle with like a jewel at the end of it, and like the knife, like you said, perfectly polished. It's got like 3 sides to, you know what I mean? It's like a fucking samurai sword, this thing. And they're like, I don't know, sharpening it on like the knife sharpener down in the tomb for some reason. They're like, oh, look at it, we gotta sharpen our knife. And I write, well, this is the first time I write, how did they get down there?
Again, there's no explanation of any security measures in place to prevent people from going anywhere or inviting them to go anywhere.
No. Why is this tomb connected to the cell block? Like, it makes no fucking sense. Okay,
It could be so easy to like tunnel through your cell and go to the tomb and then exit through somewhere else in the tomb, because the tomb, okay, you notice there's all this equipment, like there's vents, there's machinery, these things lead you somewhere.
Okay,
you could
the geography of this jail is so confusing. At all times, people are just wandering anywhere they want. And by the way, they make a comment in a bit about how this jail is being overcrowded. I don't see anybody.
No.
I mean, there's maybe 10 people in this jail. Like, if anything, it's under. Like, they need more prisoners in this jail. Like, so we go to Vernon's office, and he's getting now busy with that girl in the tub, and she's all wanting her fix. She's like, I want a shot, and he's like, when we're done, baby. So then they make out in the tub, and we see the first shot of this camera he has in this chandelier. We're gonna get to this.
Yes, we are
recording everything. And then Vernon says, you'll be out in a couple of weeks. When am I going to see you again? He's like, am I going to see you again? She's like, oh, of course. Because you're going to help me get in those films, right? And he's like, yeah.
You got it.
That's what I read. He sure has a scam running on this lady. She's going to get out of this jail and never see him again.
She's going to wait outside like...
Can I get back in, please? I just want to go visit him.
I got my demo reel in there.
I would imagine if you went to a jail, you don't go back to visit. Like, you're never going back to visit your old friends, the old warden friend of mine. So we go to the basement, the tomb, and now these two black ladies, so Duchess and this assistant of hers, come up, and they talk to, like, Erica and the other lady about something and how they're going to take some lady out because she's a snitch. Mm-hmm. Then we go back to Vernon's office, and now they're dressed and out of the tub, and they're talking about... Well, basically, ask her, like, all right, where did you get the drugs, and can you give me the names of who's supplying the stuff? I guess she does.
Yeah.
We don't know really what the fuck's going on.
No.
But basically, she's begging for some drugs. Mm-hmm. And she's like, come on, you said I could get a fix. And he says the line, why can't you snort it like the rest of us? Okay. So then we go down to the tomb again, and that redhead girl... fresh off her sexcapade with the warden, is just taking a little nice leisurely stroll this night. I guess no lights out in this prison. Just fucking wake up and walk around wherever you feel like it, No guards down here, by the way. And she's just taking a leisurely stroll in the dark basement. And then these other ladies, you just hear they call out the word snitch, and they're like hitting pipes and stuff. And then she runs around, and then eventually they like catch her in a hallway, and she runs down this really long hallway full of pipes and everything. Where the fuck we are, who knows? And then just runs into a wire.
Piano wire is what I think it is.
And then just slits her own throat.
Yeah.
And it's all like gory too. Like she's hanging on this wire, and they're like, "Yeah, we got her." And they lift up her head, and her whole throat slit. And everything.
It's like a deleted scene from like a Saw trap.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so this is what this movie's going to be like. And by the way, so this movie, the version we have is 98 minutes, which is the actual theatrical cut of this movie. But until they released it on that DVD, the only cut you could see in America after it was in the theaters was 88 minutes. And they cut out all the violence and rapes in this movie.
Yeah, I could have done without the rape scenes for sure.
Oh, some of these.
Yeah. Savage Streets wasn't even that bad.
No. Oh, my God. The one scene in this movie, they really could have got rid of it.
Yeah.
So we go to this holding cell where Linda is. Wait, hold on. Hold on a second. Was this all taking place in the day?
Think so.
So why the fuck was it all dark down in that tomb? Like, if it's the day, what are they just like, hey, it's shut down for the day. I guess no laundry today.
Yeah, it's underground. That's why it's called a tomb, obviously.
And they're just...
Yeah.
Fuck is this? So Linda's still getting checked into jail. Like, this is all happening. She's not even in yet.
6 hours later.
So then she watches as some ladies get in a fight, and then apparently one of them is a man. Yeah. So like, there's like a transgendered woman, but not really transgender because it's just a man dressed like a woman.
Yeah.
And this lady like beats him up and like grabs his crotch and everything and pulls off his wig. And I just write, well, why is he there? Just because he dressed like a woman doesn't mean he goes to woman prison. Like, what the fuck? Boy, that's a real fuck up. Like, one of many for this prison, by the way.
Overlooked that one. Sorry.
Why is he here?
Check your dong at the door, please.
And then Linda, for some reason, gets all this sympathy and she starts crying. And then she, like, yells, leave him alone. And this is the first of many times where you're like, Linda,
just shut up.
Shut the fuck up. You would do better in this movie and in life, your character in this movie, if you would just shut the fuck up every now and then.
Because it gets her into so many terrible situations.
Linda, okay, I know she's supposed to be a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
She is responsible for so many fucking deaths in this movie. And all her problems are her own. Just shut the fuck up. You're only in for 18 months. Shut the fuck up.
Andy Dufresne, she is not.
If you're in jail for 18 months, shut the fuck up, make one good friend, don't talk to many people, just fucking play along and get the fuck out.
Keep your head down.
Don't fucking start
playing.
She's like, in this movie.
She's playing sides. She's trying to.
It's like one day, and she's like, I'm gonna ruin my whole fucking life.
Out the window.
So then finally they call in Linda to get processed. And then we go into some office, which I guess is the warden's office. Not his quarters, mind you, but his office. I can't wait to get more into his quarters. So in the warden's office, Warden's John Vernon's there with the chief, right?
Yeah.
And behind John Vernon in this warden's office, by the way, is like every medieval weapon. It's like, for some reason, he has like hand axes and like executioners.
It'd be good if there was an executioner's mask.
Yeah. It's like, by the way, prisoners are like welcomed into this office at any moment. It's like probably not a good idea to have all these deadly weapons.
Is there like a mace at one point?
By the way, not like behind glass or anything.
No.
Just openly available.
It's not like a museum. It's like ready to be picked up and like played with. Like it's some D&D or like LARPing event.
And by the way, some of the stuff in his quarters, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't wait to describe this place.
The taxidermy, especially.
So, Vernon's all pissed at the chief lady, right? There's this lady chief, and he's like, well, hey, why is that girl dead? How the hell she die and who did it? And the lady chief's all just like, wow, what the fuck does it matter? This is a prison. People die every day. And he's like, no, they don't. By the way, you're doing a real shitty fucking job, okay?
He's got a real laissez-faire attitude about the whole prison death thing.
Yeah, he's like, another prisoner died, chief, and I'm starting to think you're real shitty at this job, I just saw this girl 2 minutes ago, and all of a sudden she ends up dead.
Yeah.
This was my girl.
My girl. She was going to be a star.
Yeah, she was going to be a star. I'll always remember her fondly. I guess now her visitation is out of the question. She's not coming back.
How warm is the body?
Also, for no reason at all, and this will never come to a play again, in this scene, John Vernon just has like a canary on his desk, like in a bird cage.
Yeah.
We'll never see this again. For some reason, he tells the chief to leave. He calls her a bitch. And then he sits down and he starts feeding this bird we'll never see again.
This was very much a Tim Carey moment for me. Like as that.
Yeah, very much. Vernon knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah.
Do you think he just brought this bird to this?
I think he did.
They're like, we can't have that the whole shoot. He's like, oh, no. It's just,
I want to set up my character. I want people to know I'm a sympathetic man to the animals, but not to the women.
And by the way, there's another part with that animal in this movie. There's so many weird things. There's props that just appear and then disappear in this movie at random.
Yeah. Oh, God, yes.
So, okay, we go to the processing place now, and Linda is taking her mug shots and getting her fingerprints. And then we see, behind some double-sided mirror, that lady chief is talking to some guy who I don't know his name. I just write him down. It's Creep Man. Mm-hmm. This guy, by the way, do you even know what this guy does?
Hell no.
Okay, what this man does, total mystery. Yeah. Who he is, even more of a mystery. Why he just walks freely anywhere around this prison, like he knows everybody and just has access. Who is this, the fucking governor? What the fuck is this guy? So he's hugging on the chief. They're kind of hugging and making out and looking at the new inmates. And he's like, oh, check out that one. I like that one. Oh, who's that girl? And then John Vernon walks in and he's like, oh, I see what's going on here. They're hugging and everything. Mm-hmm. And then the creep guy leaves and Vernon asks, he goes, have you found anything about that girl's death? And I write, it's been 2 minutes. Look, do you have answers?
Chief, the
case is going cold. And she's like, oh yeah, I do know something. It was some Mexican lady. Well, she obviously just made that up. Yeah, she literally just walked out of your office, John Vernon, into this room, and you go, have you found anything out yet? And then they both see Linda Blair through the mirror, and Vernon's like, oh, who's that girl? And she says something like, oh, she's new. And he goes, such a shame to see an innocent girl like her ending up here. And then we see Linda look through the mirror. And then we cut to the reverse, and she's looking in the mirror at herself, and she's crying. And the lady officer says, take a long look, honey. By the time you get out, you sure won't look the same.
And out come the waterworks.
Linda starts crying. We go to the cell block. The guard is okay, so this, for no reason in this part, one of the guards walks this black prisoner into apparently like some racist white cell block.
Yeah.
And then, like, all the female prisoners stab this girl to death right in front of the guard. She does nothing about it except blow a rape whistle or something.
And, like, after she's, like, nearly dead on the ground, then the guards
apparently all these women just have shivs at the ready. Like, nobody's doing fucking searches of these cells. They just like, oh, look, a black lady. Pull out your shivs. And they just, everybody stabs her to death. And she's just, well, she doesn't die. They're all stab her and she's bleeding out on the ground. Right as Linda and her friends walk in, you just see this, like, basically dead woman. And it's like Linda's day couldn't get any worse. And then the chief walks in and she's like, don't worry. The natives are usually better behaved. Just leaves.
The natives.
Then we go to this big cell. And Linda's sitting on her bed. Again, the geometry of this place is so crazy. So we were just in a cell block with women in like cells with bunk beds, and now the rest of the place, we'll never see that again. No. They all live in like some giant cell with like a barracks type thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a barracks. Yeah,
where like they all have their own cot and then like a drawer. Like a dresser.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see the hair dryer or the hair straightener or the hair product that obviously would.
Yeah, where they put the hairspray, we don't know yet. So they're in this big cell, and like Linda's sitting on her bed talking to her friend Val, and then those two ladies, Erica and her friend, show up, and they introduce themselves. Then they threaten Linda a little bit, so they're coming up there like, hey, welcome to prison. And Erica starts like, petting on her and everything. And basically she tells her it's not about what you know, but who you know. And then kisses Linda on the lips and leaves. And it's like, uh-oh.
Planting the old seed there.
Yep. So then we go into the chief's office, lady chief's office. She's there with the creep guy. And John Verdon caught them. And she says something about, she's like, damn, he's on to us. I'm like, on to what? What the fuck is going on?
This is just a sequence of lines that they pull out that sounds like it's developing some plot without an actual plot.
Yeah, because I write, wait, what? Apparently they're running some scam? What is going on?
Yeah.
Who the fuck is this guy?
Mm-hmm. Hey, what makes it sound like things are going on? Let's have one of them say, uh-oh, the heat is on.
Yeah, and then for no reason, they just start making out.
Yeah.
Oh, I write again, I'm not really sure what's going on. Then there's a knock at the door, and then Erica walks in, and she gives the chief money. So apparently she's part of this scam they're running.
Yeah.
Something about selling drugs to the prisoners. Where the prisoners are getting money, who the fuck knows?
No.
Where are they getting money?
And why is it good for? What is that money good for? It's like...
are they just making paper money? And the chief's collecting it. She's like, I'm going to be the king of this prison with all my fake money.
What's the Steve Dakota one we covered? Lost faith on that island. They're like, what was the master tells them?
The master bucks? You think that's what they got running here?
Yeah, they got master bucks.
Master dollars.
It's got his face on it, looking all mad.
Yeah, they just have a bunch of John Verdon faces on these dollar bills, like they're Warden bucks or something.
Warden bucks.
Maybe you get enough, you get a free meal. Maybe you can get out. Who knows?
Redeemable for one, get out of rate free.
Where are any of these prisoners getting money? Who knows? So the chief. Okay, so then for no reason, the chief just walks out of the room and leaves this creepy guy with Erica, and then she just says to the creepy guy, she goes, one day I'm going to kill that bitch. And the guy says, not until we've made our first million. And then they hug and make out. And I just write again, what the fuck is going on?
No. What
do you mean first million? Like, the drug sales in prison are that brisk, I mean, I'm sure there's a markup, but $1 million? Out of the 10 people in this jail? That might take a while.
They're pounding those pavements really hard.
So then we go back to Verdon's office, and the chief walks in. But again, the geography of this place, if somebody tasked Chris and I with drawing a diagram of this prison, like a floor plan, I wouldn't know. I would not know. There has to be at one point some sort of Stargate portal that takes you from one end of the prison to the other, because I can't tell you where the fuck anything is. I don't know. There's random halls that are just thrown around. At one point, there's a staircase. I didn't even know they had fucking stairs. Like,
I picture like one of those walking people movers at the airport that just take prisoners from where they need to go. They expedite the walk-in. But you just don't see those.
It's like a giant people mover,
Yeah.
or like those those airport walking things around this prison.
Yeah.
So this is when I think we should talk about. Okay, this is I think. Wait, okay, she's in Vernon's office, right? At this point, the one with the weapons, I think.
Right.
So the chief walks in, and John Vernon is meeting with the black gang leader Duchess. And then the chief walks in and she says, well, Duchess, what brings you so far north? And Duchess looks at the chief and goes, got tired of fucking your mama. And John Vernon just goes, ladies. That's no way to settle a problem.
ladies.
We just let the prisoners talk however they want. We don't give a fuck. And then Duchess basically asks why the hell a black prisoner was knifed this morning. And why the hell she was transferred apparently to the KKK cell block of this cell block KKK in this prison. And John Vernon kind of like looks at her and he's like, hey, yeah, what? Wait a second, why did that happen? Why the fuck did you do that, Chief? Again, you're not really doing a good job. Just this morning we had a prisoner die who I was very close with, Chief.
She had
and
a
now,
future.
A poor black woman was knifed because for some reason you decided to put her in the wrong cell block. And the chief just says, well, we're overcrowded and people are just going to get stabbed every once in a while. It's like, this seems like a bad day.
Like,
Two people, we already had the coroner here once today.
Yeah.
We got to bring him by again?
Yeah. Like how many?
It's not even dinner.
How much do they gotta mop up between now and then?
Like, we didn't even get one meal, and we're still, we're calling the fucking morgue
Do you
twice.
think there'd be some kind of oversight, like the numbers, or do you think they're fudging the numbers of death per capita in this prison?
I think the Department of Corrections is going to have some questions. They're going to be like, okay, guys. Look, a couple hundred people die in prison every year, but your prison's most of them. So we want to know kind of what's going on over here.
And some inmates are complaining about a jacuzzi leak from above.
We also hear that you guys are apparently letting people just run just fucking anywhere they want in your jail.
Yeah.
Is that true? We hear that you don't keep the lights on in the basement. Is there a reason? Or
I mean, we know there's a budget deficit here.
Yeah, but come on, guys. Also, not one guard posted down there. So maybe try locking the doors, guys. We have bars for a reason. So we go into the shower scene. And then these female prisoners are joking around in the shower, having a good old time. They're like, hitting each other with the soap, slapping each other on the butts, And then Linda is taking a shower, and she watches these two prisoners make out in the shower and start rubbing each other like it's some sort of Skinamax movie. And then some lady comes up and hits on Linda. So some big lady just comes up. She goes, "Hey, baby, how you doing?" And Linda goes, "Oh, no, thank you." And she's like, "No, you don't understand. I wasn't asking." And Linda's like, "Oh, no, I'm not interested. You see, I'm not a lesbian." It's like Linda's like trying to be so polite, like, "Oh, no, thank you. Maybe later."
Oh, you're
Maybe
so adorable.
We should get to know each other.
Maybe over drinks down in the tomb.
But then Erica comes up and she's like, "Hey, get out of here. This is my fish." And then Erica just starts rubbing some soap on Linda. And Linda just give her this look and she's like, "Please don't do that." And again, she's like, "No, I don't think you understand. This is not up to you." And then for some reason, like a guard walks in and tells Linda that the warden wants to see her.
Right.
He's got something special planned for Linda.
Yeah, heat up that jacuzzi.
So she goes into the warden's boudoir. Okay, so now let's get into it. So John Vernon why don't you explain to me the best you can, Chris, where Vernon apparently lives on the premises?
This is I always use Back to the Future Part 2 because it's just so relevant and Biff's
it's
pleasure.
so relevant.
And for these kinds of scenes, this is Biff Tannen's pleasure paradise in his hotel in Dystopia 1985.
So apparently somewhere in this prison is Vernon's pleasure palace.
Yeah.
Where in the prison? Why he lives there? Does anybody go home in this movie?
I don't think so. we saw nobody clocking in, clocking out. Like, see you tomorrow. There's no...
Like, for all we know, Vernon never leaves this prison. For all we know, he never leaves 2 rooms. Oh, well, one time we see him on the roof. One time.
Yeah.
So he lives in this place with, like, fake plants everywhere, dim lighting.
Taxidermy animals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Giant, like, a mountain lion behind this desk in here.
Yeah.
With, like, glowing eyes. A giant fish tank. A bed with, like, satin and velvet sheets on it. Everything's red. Like, it's all red, like, dark red, you know? Persian rugs, leather couches. Looks like some sort of cigar club, you know?
Yeah, like some Skull and Bones yacht club.
Yeah. And in the middle of the room, a hot tub. Like a giant hot tub.
And the water is not very clear.
No.
I'll put it this way. It's very brown.
Yeah. Oh, that prison water. He's got a hard time getting the pool guy to come in. All right, Chris, you know? Okay, so he tells Linda, he's like, sit down, let's have a little chat. You know what? Welcome to the prison. I'm going to pour myself a drink. Because Vernon just gets drunk all the time, I guess, on duty at this prison. He's the warden. He can do whatever the fuck he feels like. So Linda basically says she was going to school, and then she accidentally, like, hit a guy with her car, and she's, like, crying. And Vernon, you think, I guess, takes a little pity on her, and he's like, stay clean, just stick around the right people. And he goes, I can help you if you just keep your ears and eyes open and let me know what's going on. You know, he's going to be her new snitch, right?
Oh, boy. First, not even her first week. She's already in deep.
It's like the way first deep. Day.
Yeah. Like, we haven't even seen the sun go down.
And Linda's
she's getting, like knee deep in the shit.
Linda's like, oh, be a prison snitch? Perfect. Yeah. So then we go back to the cell, and most of the girls are sleeping, and Erica's just sitting up in her bed, like, smoking cigarettes. Linda's crying again, and she watches those 2 girls from the shower make out some more. And then it's just the end of that scene.
Yeah.
Go to the next day at the cell block entrance, and Erica's taking some money from a guard, right? So the rapist guard, the guy who raped that girl in the cold opening, gives her some money. Wait, whoa. So you're telling me the racket is that the guard wants to rape a woman, so he pays a prisoner to rape her? Because he just paid Erica. He's like, hey, I want to rape that one girl. Can you get her for me? And pays her?
I guess, yeah, that's...
The fuck would he even have to pay for it? I guess if he's going to rape the girl, just take her out of the cell.
Yeah. He likes the middleman. He likes the thrill of the middleman, apparently.
Erica's apparently some sort of prison pimp for some reason. So basically they go back in the cell, and the girls are having a good time. You know, Linda's playing checkers, and they're just laughing with their new friends, you know. And then Erica and her partner, like, take one of those lesbians from the shower by knife point and then give her to that guard.
Yeah.
And then Linda just gets up and just starts screaming, and she's like, hey, leave her alone. I'm going to go tell somebody.
Oh, Jesus.
Day 2, Linda's about to get fucking shanked.
Her head is going to be in a toilet stall.
Linda, 18 months. Just shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. She goes, hey, guys. Don't do that. I'm going to go tell somebody. I'm going to go tell on the warden.
Jesus.
And that redheaded prisoner with the big hair, like, just kicks her ass and is like, if you're going to be a snitch, you're going to fucking die. And then, for no reason, Duchess, the black leader, the black gang leader, Duchess, walks in and for some reason, like, stops Linda from getting beat up. And I'm like, why the fuck would she care?
No.
She didn't even know this girl.
No.
And all of a sudden she's like, hey, don't beat up my new friend, my new snitch friend. You know, we just killed that snitch, by the way, together. We killed the last snitch, that redheaded girl. We got a new one now. But for some reason, Duchess wants to protect her.
Why would she want to get involved?
But for no reason, then her and Erica get into a fight, and now they're gonna duel in the yard or something. And then before Duchess leaves, she knees a lady in the crotch.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go to the cell block entrance, and then the lesbian girl runs to a guard because she's like, "Oh, they got a knife! And then the guard puts her into this cell block and then brings her into that rape cell from the beginning of the movie. And when she walks into the cell, the officer is already in there with his shirt off, and he just leaps. He leaps at her and goes, "Yeah, like I'm ready for my rape."
He's like shirtless, ready to go.
Well, he learned his lesson from the last time.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I should get naked before she comes in. Don't let her get that fake gun."
Yeah.
So then he leaps on her and he's like grabbing her and he's like, shut up, you'll love it." And then so basically he rapes this girl. It goes on for a really long time. And then the female guard who brought her in here is like watching it, getting all turned on. All these guards are fucking insane. The amount of like depravity that goes on in this prison, like they really need an audit. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Really
the numbers alone of the deaths, the complaints,
the rapes,
yeah,
and not rapes by other prisoners. They're like, I'm sorry, the nurse turned in a rape kit. Apparently, this female prisoner was raped by a man.
Yeah,
what man? So this rape goes on for a while. Then we cut to the yard. We're outside, and Linda watches from behind a fence as a train goes by, and she's regretting her life decision of accidentally swerving into that man instead of swerving into the bouncing ball across the street.
I won't forget about that one.
I wish it would have showed Linda hitting the man.
Yeah.
And there should have been a comment where she goes like, "Well, if Laura Bush could have gotten away with it, why can't I?" Like, I want to see the scene where Linda hits that man with a car. Like, that's how the cold opening should have been. We never find out anything about this.
I know, there's not enough background about her character to care. I'm sorry.
Linda really isn't even the main character of this movie. She's just a lady who cries while everything else goes on around her.
The fact that she has top billing is beyond me. John Vernon should have John Vernon has more of a role in this film than she does.
John Vernon has more of a role. The Sybil Danning, Erica, has a bigger role.
Yeah.
The chief has a bigger role. The creepy guy has a bigger role. Linda just cries. Hell, her friend has a bigger role.
Yes.
Linda's character goes through no transformation other than, boy, it really sucks to be here. We needed some scene, some flashback of like Linda, you know, a night out on the town, just got an A on my exam. Oh my God, I ran into a man and killed him. Do you think? Oh, hold on. I'll save it for the end.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Okay, so we're in the yard, and then Duchess and so we're in the yard, and Duchess and her gang approach, and then Erica and hers approach, and then there's just a fight between the two of them, and for some reason Erica has a knife.
Again,
not a shiv, full on knife.
Yeah, they pull out weapons here like it's like, again, it's medieval times and everyone's packing.
Yeah, and yeah, somebody's got like some ball and chain, like it's sort of like fucking 1920s chain gang that they have like a fucking mace, or something. What is this? And so they have this medieval times fight. And none of the guards do anything. They don't do shit. They just sit here and watch it. And then the chief walks out, and she's like, "Yeah!" like cheering from the sides, like, "Go, Erica! That's my girl!" And then, so they get into their medieval time fight. And then all of a sudden, we cut to the roof, and John Vernon is aiming a gun, and he shoots the ground, and he basically says, "It's a warning shot. The next one I won't miss." And he tells everybody to clear the yard. And then we go in the laundry room. Linda and her friends fold laundry.
Yeah.
And Duchess comes up and talks to Linda. And basically she says, "Do you know who stabbed that black girl that went in that cell block?" And Linda goes, "Oh, yeah, I'll tell you exactly everything you want to know. I'm in that cell block, but I don't really care. I'll just let you know anything you want. What do you want to know, huh?" And Linda basically says, yeah, it was this one girl, that prisoner lady with the big hair.
And they're like, which one?
Yeah, can you point her out for me? And Linda's like, yeah, sure. And then Duchess also tells her, he's like, hey, stay out for the chief. You know, she likes to stir the pot. She likes to pit the blacks against the whites. You know, there's a whole race war going on here. Doesn't need to be that way. And Linda's like, okay, great. Thank you, Duchess. You seem like a really nice lady. I know I can trust you, and I'll tell. Basically, I don't have any secrets. If somebody wants to know who killed somebody, well, I'll tell them. What do I got to lose? You know, I've been here 2 days now.
I'm trying to build a rapport, you know, with the higher-ups. The higher-ups will look kindly on me. They'll remember me for this one.
So then Linda's friend comes up, Val, and she's like, hey, what was that all about? And she's like, you know, nothing. Just told her who killed that girl. And she's like, you should stay away from Duchess. And Linda's like, why? Because she's black? And she goes, no, Linda, because you live in the cell block with Erica, and it's probably not a good idea to piss her off.
Thank you. She doesn't. It's like, is she special? Is her character special in this movie? Is she kind of?
I have no idea. So we go to, I write, escape hatch? Question mark?
Thank you. It's like a weird, like, I thought they were in a submarine at first.
Okay, so they're in this room, and some guard is like letting them through a submarine. Like, she opens up this big like porthole, and then they all like kind of walk out. I'm like, why this even exists in the prison isn't easily accessible? Who the fuck knows?
When the prison floods from the inside.
Yeah, I guess so.
They know how to work all the water out.
They go out this escape hatch, Chris, and then for some reason the girls are like climbing down some sort of fire escape ladder.
Yeah, there's like a ladder. It's like a rope ladder.
Like, this is just the routine, okay?
Yeah, like, why can't... Okay, well, I guess it's supposed to be like no one's supposed to know. So I was like, well, why not just like say, oh, we're taking them out for some hearing, or like they're all witnesses, which would have made more sense to get them past everyone in plain sight.
It makes no fucking sense. By the way, are there security cameras at this prison or something?
Nope.
I mean, Vernon has a lot of Maybe Vernon took all those security cameras. He's like, oh no, I need them in my bedroom. That's where the real action happens in this prison. So the people who are there are like Linda, her friend Val, and like 2 other girls. And they're all, I guess, getting out of jail free for the night.
Yeah.
You know, they rolled that space on Monopoly. They're out. They climb down this ladder, and there's like this limo. And the creepy guy is there with like some chauffeur. And he's like, oh, hey, for some reason, this guy the chauffeur guy is like Frankenstein or something. He goes,
Lorenzo.
He's like,
hey, boss, you picked some real cuties tonight.
He's like, Lorenzo, don't touch the girls, just drive the car. And so they get into this limo, and this creepy guy has like set up something for them. And they have all these dresses, these skanky dresses.
And they all fit them perfectly.
And they're like, yeah, it's about time. Let's go to your fucking party. So then they leave the prison in this limo. We go to the prison bathroom. And basically we see like a POV shot. Like, it's now become John Carpenter's Halloween.
Of the bathrooms.
Like, Michael Myers has now showed up to the prison. And he's like going through the prison stalls. And then we see like that big red-haired lady is like smoking a joint. Again, just nobody gives a fuck. She's hanging out in the bathroom reading a magazine.
Yeah.
And then these black feet appear at the stall entrance, and she gets up and she's like getting her shiv at the ready. And then all of a sudden, some like giant fish hook.
Again, where do they have access to this shit?
So this is like the I don't even know how to explain.
It's
what
like
this
I
is.
know what you did last summer style fish hook.
So imagine the fish hook from I Know What You Did Last Summer, but on like a giant wooden pole.
Yeah.
By the way, not an easy thing to hide, right?
Do you think there's like no way I'm going to believe she keistered that?
Yeah.
All the way.
How the fuck did she? Was she just walking with this out? She couldn't hide it anywhere.
Was it in her hair?
This
Who
is like
knows?
a 5-foot long wooden pole with a giant meat hook at the end of it. And she shoves it into the bottom of this lady's throat and like pulls her up by it. It's a real gory scene and blood pours out.
It's good.
There's surprisingly a good amount of gore effects in this movie. I mean, it's kind of odd. It's very out of place, but you never know what the hell's going on with this movie and what we're going for. So then we cut to, speaking of not knowing what we're going for, a mansion party.
Okay, here's my theory, is that this mansion, when they shot this, I think the warden's room is part of this mansion, and they just used the other rooms of this mansion.
It's gotta be, right?
To film, instead of trying to build one from scratch and make it part of a set. This is all the same place where they filmed.
Because the geography of this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, there's never even an establishing shot of this mansion or anything. All of a sudden we just cut to like some of the girls topless in a spa with these other guys, and they're like drinking. And then we cut inside, and Linda's friend is dancing down the stairs, stripping for some guy that's snorting cocaine, and he just keeps snorting coke, and he goes, "Incredible, fabulous." And I just write, what the fuck is going on in this movie? Did they just get tired of it being in jail?
Yeah, who fucking knows.
And then we go to another room. Okay, so Linda's in a room with this guy, and he's like, "Oh, hey, nice to meet you," and then puts his hand right down her shirt. He goes, "You got a terrific body," and then goes and feels it. And she's not interested. And for some reason, okay, so all the other girls are like in these skanky suits, and for some reason Linda is wearing like a blue power suit. Like she's wearing like what MC Hammer wears in the Hammer Time
thank you.
music video, like a giant parachute outfit. This is like, okay, if you went to like you know, in the fair when you'd see those people wearing those like fake sumo outfits?
Yeah.
It would be like that, but without the padding. It's like just this giant, big, fluffy, like puffy outfit with a belt on it.
It's like
she looks insane.
If there were a plane going down, she could jump out and like float to safety in this thing.
It's such a full parachute outfit. A parachute pantsuit, I guess is how you would call it. She looks like she's about to like be a lawyer. I don't know, like I don't know how to explain this.
Be a lawyer.
Like they were like, get these girls dressed up. Oh, sorry, Linda. All we had was this this parachute outfit for you. So she's like, well, hey, I'm not interested. I'm not here to be a whore. And then the guy's like, all right. And he takes her and he throws her on this bed, and he's like, oh, I'm not playing around. And then for some reason she grabs a handgun, which this man has just left on his bedside table with all these prisoners in the house. And she points it at him, and he's like, you don't have the guts. And then he takes the gun from her and points it at her, and he's like, all right, now get the clothes off. And then Val walks into the room, and she's like, oh, what's going on here? He's like, this bitch won't play along. And she's like, oh, no, here, let me have that gun. And he's like, oh, okay.
Well, yeah, she kind of seduces him, kind of like with his arm back, and then but she gets him to fire it.
Yeah, so she knees him in the balls, and then he fires the gun. And then the creepy guy runs in the room, and he kicks the guy.
Yeah.
And then Linda goes, he tried to rape me. And then the creep guy just smacks her in the face, like backhands her in the face, and goes, you're all going back to jail. I just wrote, what the fuck? What the shit fuck is going on?
Party's over. I mean, I would be making a run for it if I got to this mansion. I was in jail.
It's like, Linda, why are you sitting in this room?
Yeah,
take that gun and get the fuck out of here.
Shoot the guy and just bail.
Go to Mexico. Get the fuck out. You've already fucked yourself in that jail, Linda. Like, if you go back, you're dead.
She's a known
already
snitch.
Snitched on everybody. Yeah. So we go back to this jail bathroom, and Linda and Val are back there, and Linda has quite the shiner on her face. And then Val leaves, and Linda notices this pool of blood coming from beneath a stall. And she opens the stall, and we see that lady hanging from the meat hook. And she screams. And then we go to John Vernon's house inside the prison, his studio apartment in this prison. And he's like sitting next to his bed watching these fish. And he's like really drunk, apparently. And then the phone rings. This like Batman red phone rings. And this guy on the phone goes, "Hey, some girl wants to talk to you." And he's like, "Oh, what? Put her on." And then Linda screams on the phone. She's like, "It's me. It's Linda. I need to talk to you. I want to snitch now."
It's like, oh.
Yeah, he's like, "Who?"
I love that.
"Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Number 2. Come on in.
So Linda rushes in. She's in tears. And Vernon's just like laughing to himself. And she's like telling him everything. She's like, "You know what I'm saying?" And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
He's sobbing inconsolably.
And then Linda tells him about a party. And he's like, he goes, "A party? What? Wait, what? He's like, "What party? What are you talking about?" It's like, "I don't know anything about this." And he's like, "Wait, you were out of the prison? You got out of the jail?
And you came back here?"
He's like, "Wait, who the fuck let you out of the jail?" He's like, "This is fucking news to me."
Tell me how you did it. I want out too.
He's like, "This place is in shambles." Yeah, he goes, "Wait, there's a way out?" Like, at this point in the movie, I'm like, is John Vernon just a prisoner that's pretending to be Warden? At this point, are these people all prisoners? Like, where are we?
He just like showed up to prison one day for his sentence and just never took off the suit.
He just pretended he was the Warden.
Yeah, he went upstairs, made himself comfortable.
Like, this is absolutely fucking insane. And so he's just like, whoa, all right, slow down. Who let you out of jail? Why you came back, I don't know, but thank you for doing that. And then basically she tells him all this stuff, and he kind of gets bored of her talking and just starts trying to rape her.
He's like, while you're here.
Yeah, he's like, hold on, we'll talk about the rest of this later. Give me them goods. he reaches over and she's like, "Ah!" And she tries to run away, but apparently the door's locked.
Yeah.
And Vernon just comes over and he slaps her.
Like, he's like slaps her around. This slaps ever living shit out of her really hard and just knocks her out.
Oh yeah, slaps her hard to the ground, and he goes, "I should be taping this goddamn thing."
Yeah.
And then rips off her clothes.
Yeah.
And then rapes her on the carpet to some really weird music. And he just keeps smacking her in the face until she's knocked out.
Yeah.
Until he can eventually, he's like, now I can begin.
It is one of the more, it's not the most uncomfortable rape scene. Or if it's not uncomfortable scene we've seen in any of the movies we've covered. Like, I drew a parallel earlier to Savage Streets, where they don't even show all of it. We thought they showed too much in Savage Streets.
When they raped her sister in that movie.
Yeah, and this one, it just like takes it way too far compared to that one.
And they cut it out of all the VHS releases and all that, because it's a little much.
It is.
So then we go back to the cell, and Linda's friends all worried. Val's like all sitting there worried. She's like, where'd Linda go? And then she goes into the shower room, because again, the prisoners can just, any time of night they want to go take a shower or do whatever they want. Go hang yourself for all we fucking care. I don't. You want to go do your laundry at night? We don't fucking care.
You need piano wire? Want to kill somebody? Step right up. Get your piano wire.
Yeah, where did they get the piano wire?
No.
The fuck? So
meat hook's here. Get your meat hook.
Where did they get that knife? So Linda's friend walks in, and there's like one shower running, and Linda's just sitting in the shower with her clothes on, and Val's like, what the fuck happened? And Linda's like, "I'm having a real rough time." She goes, "I went to go to the warden to tell him everything." She goes, "By the way, I told him everything, including the party and all that." And she goes, "You're not mad at me, are you? You don't hate me." And then Val looks at her, and in the most useless fucking line of this movie, she goes, "I couldn't hate you. You're my friend. You're the only friend I've ever had." I just write, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is this?
Again, they are just throwing in lines that sound like exposition or sound like plot points, but they are nothing more than words
This
and
is
lines.
definitely, if people are seeing this movie so fucked out of their minds, drunk or high,
Yeah.
you just got to throw in a line. You're right, Chris. You just got to throw in a line that, like, the movie thinks it knows what it's doing. So they're like, oh, yeah. Oh, they're good friends. Oh, okay. I get it. So then
This movie is on autopilot.
Oh, for sure. And believe it or not, this movie's about to end. Like, we're almost at the end of it.
I know.
And nothing has happened. So we go to next day in the infirmary, and the creepy guy's there, and he's like packing cocaine into medical supplies or something. And then we see... So John Vernon comes in and the jig's up and he's like, all right, I know what's going on. I got my own personal snitch. It's Linda, by the way.
Points to her, lets everyone know.
He's like, she'll come around. I had a force her the first time, but they come around. And so then the creep guy's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll leave now. And then like the rape guard comes in with a shotgun and he's like, hey, should I call the cops, boss? And he's like, no, this is a prison, so we'll just keep the drugs and let this man be on his way. That's it.
Yeah, done.
So we go in the chief's office, and she's on the phone with the creepy guy, and she just says, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. And I write, the jig is fucking up, lady. The hammer is coming down. Then we go back to Linda's cell, and they're like planning something. And this is when I just broke down and I said, can't they just fucking leave it alone and serve their goddamn time quietly? Stop fucking making things worse for yourself.
The second she set foot in this jail, in this prison, I'm amazed the place just didn't spontaneously combust.
Like I'm, you start the movie feeling bad for her, thinking she made a mistake, and you end the movie going like, maybe Linda's mistakes. Maybe not so much mistakes. I don't know. Seems like maybe she did something a little wrong. Maybe
she was covering in the beginning of the movie.
Because she just can't shut the fuck up and serve those 18 months. She's got to just fuck around for every day. Every day is a new fucking travesty for this girl in this prison, and she finds a new way to get fucking killed by either the people in charge, the gang leaders, whoever it might be. Linda's just making enemies left and fucking right. So then we go to John Vernon's office, and he's there with Val, and they're doing coke, and then she mentions something about how she wants to be in pornos, and then John Vernon's eyes light right up, and he goes, "You were in a porno film? Well, why didn't you say so? You came to the right place. I have a room full of porno films. I make them myself." These are the lines he says. And that's when I noticed this insane mountain lion behind him with glowing yellow eyes.
Okay. Do you think part of these porno films, there's a scene of both him and the woman on top of this mountain lion doing it?
There's gotta be,
Has
right?
to be.
There's gotta be.
Or just him in a boudoir photo of him naked sitting on top of it.
I was so surprised there's no bearskin rug. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what really tied the room together, if you haven't noticed. So then he gets up and he starts calling her Camille. Which I'm like, Vernon, did you forget her name, or are you just fucking around? What's going on? Is her name Camille or Val? What the fuck? He goes, and I quote, "Come on, Camille, you want to get into films? You want to get into films? I'll make you a goddamn star. Lights, camera, action." And she's like, "All right, come on, Warden." He goes, "Oh no, don't call me Warden. Call me Fellini."
Yep.
And I write,
was
what's
dying.
the name of this movie? 8.5 inches? What the fuck is this, dude? So they get in this hot tub and things get a little close. And then somebody sneaks into the room quietly, Chris.
Oh boy.
And?
It's two guards. And we see these hands come down and grab her and pull her out. And then another pair of hands from the other side comes down and starts drowning Mr. Vernon. I'm sorry, Mr. Fellini under the water. And he's fighting.
Mr. Fellini, Mr. 8.5 inches over here.
Mr. Fellini, you want it on set.
So it's the chief and this like mean guard who's always being a real bitch to all the prisoners, basically. They drown Vernon. And then the guard looks over at the chief. She goes, well, what do we do about her? And she's like, she won't tell anybody. And she's like, just take her through the, don't take her through the cell block, guard. Take her through, was it the tomb?
The tombs.
Take her through the tomb.
Yeah.
And so then we go to the tomb, and Linda's somehow down here. And I write, how the fuck do these prisoners just roam around this fucking jail willy-nilly? Nobody gives a fuck.
In the dark.
And so then Val and this female guard comes down, and then for no reason, the guard just beats Val to death. And I write, I guess they just planned this all along? What the fuck is going on?
Yeah, for what
Why
reason?
not just drown her in the fucking tub?
Thank you.
And then blame it on her and be like, oh, she freaked out and killed John Vernon and then she killed herself or something. Like, what the why bring her down to this room and set up this whole thing? So then Linda, who's standing, by the way, Chris, what would you say, 20 feet away?
Oh, yeah. And she's all calling out her name.
Yeah, she's like, Val, are you here?
And the best part is, all right, the camera is on Linda. Linda's looking at the camera. She goes, Val, and then right behind her is like trotting by casually. 20 feet away is her, the woman that killed her.
Yeah.
And like,
and the guard doesn't even notice. And for some reason, Linda didn't even notice the sounds of Val being killed. Because, by the way, not a quiet death.
No.
Because Val's like, this isn't how I get back to the cell. And the guard's like, oh, fuck you, bitch. And like hits her in the throat. And she's like, just dying on the ground. And Linda's like, Val, is that you? So then Linda walks over and she sees Val like dead on the ground, and then Val in her last dying moments whispers something we can't understand to Linda. And I just write, maybe Linda should have just kept her fucking mouth shut
from day one.
She's responsible for so many deaths at this point. The fucking Warden, Val. I mean, the bodies are piling up, Linda. Shut your fucking mouth. I mean, it's 18 months. It's not that long. Just shut the fuck up. It's not like she's serving a 20-year sentence.
No,
Chris.
no.
We're talking a year and 6 months.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Keep your head down.
I mean, 18 months, people might not even notice you're even there.
She might be good behavior. Might get some time off.
Just shut the fuck. Yeah, seriously. You know, you're going to get up for parole any day, maybe in a week.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. But instead, I can see this parole meeting. They go, Linda. Oh, boy. The last one to see the Warden alive. Last one to see Val alive. Last one to see that. First one to notice that dead woman in the bathroom. Boy, I don't know if, maybe we should recommend more time. Maybe that car accident wasn't so much an accident, So then we go to the yard. Okay, love this fucking scene.
Yes.
So it's the next day in the prison yard. Mm-hmm. And so these prisoners, this is like a fucking kindergarten playground. These prisoners are like playing with a soccer ball and like jumping rope. And there's a hopscotch court. There's a fucking hopscotch court at a prison.
I think they just found the cheapest place they could find, which was like an elementary school. There was fence.
This is fucking insane. And by the way, one of the girls is bouncing the soccer ball like it's a basketball.
Yeah.
Like she's dribbling it. These are literally 5-year-olds. Because they're like, wee! Like, turning a hopscotch.
Linda's character is literally a 5-year-old.
Like, what the fuck is this? They're like, and this lady's doing hopscotch. She's like, oh, break my back if I don't do it right. Don't step on the line.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And they're like, let's play tag. Like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah.
And so Linda's like standing by a fence just crying.
As usual. Maybe she's crying because she lost hopscotch. Who knows?
She's crying because she's like, I'm in this movie. And so she sees that guard that she knows kills Val, apparently. Mm-hmm. And she...
Slow motion.
Okay, explain to me what happens, Chris.
The music swells. She does the slow motion charge at her. And I don't know what she's thinking, but she thinks she's just going to take her down. That'll show her.
Like, you remember that wrestler Goldberg?
Yeah.
She does the Goldberg spear.
Yep. She spears her.
She does the fucking spear from across the yard.
Yeah.
So she slow motion tackles this woman.
Mm-hmm. And pretty much no one else really comes to help her, just to pull her off. And the guards...
She by the way, doesn't like try to punch her.
No, just
Linda
kinda...
tries to bite her.
Yeah.
She's so like Linda's like I guess some sort of rabid bear because she's like, like she's like some sort of cat. She like like kind of she's like going for the jugular with her teeth. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Hello, Clarice.
Yeah, and then so some of the other prisoners are like, oh, all right, and they just they like push the gate so another guard can't get in. Erica comes over, or not Erica, Duchess comes over and like pulls Linda off her, and then I just write, what the fuck did Linda do this for? I go, one bad decision after the fucking next.
Thank you.
Adding to your time at this point, you've assaulted a goddamn guard. Like, you can't even be any more fucking stupid.
Yeah, in plain sight. Plenty of witnesses.
Just added another 18 months, you fucking idiot.
She might as well just shank the guard in front of everybody. It's going to be the same outcome.
You know, this fucking parole hearing, it's getting a little more interesting now.
Yeah.
So you speared a guard and then tried to bite her jugular? Linda. And you want to get out? And then okay, this movie's almost over. I assume Linda's just going to end up dead by the end of this movie. We go to a solitary cell. Linda, so some guard brings Linda into the rape cell, and then she sits down on a mattress, and this cockroach comes up, and she goes, "Ah!" Real genuine scream, by the way.
Yeah, she could have like befriended this cockroach at this point, because it's like, no, I'm sorry, the cockroach would have died by her somehow. So forget it.
She would have been like, "I'll be your friend," and then the next scene, she's like, "I'm gonna fucking tell on you." You're not supposed to be here.
The next scene is the cockroach in the jacuzzi.
just fucking legs up, you know?
He's like, yeah, you're gonna be a star.
Oh, I lost my other friend. So then we go to the warden's office, and there's like this prison doctor. And okay, so the auditor has finally arrived. The lady from Department of Corrections is there, and she's like, okay, now the warden died. She's like, okay, it's getting a little fishy, guys. He drowned in his own hot tub. And she says to the doctor, she goes, was there an autopsy performed? And the doctor goes, there's no fucking point. He fucking drowned himself. It's over. And she goes, she just looks at her and she's like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, I've been a prison doctor for 15 years. And she goes, 15 years too long. Which I don't even understand that line. Yeah. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
She should have, apparently she isn't even qualified to be a prison doctor for even one day. That's what that means.
So instead of this lady from the Department of Corrections basically being like, okay, this prison is shut down immediately. Like, all of you are fucking fired. The warden died. He drowned in his own tub. Which, by the way, why the fuck does the warden have a tub in his room? I went in there. He has fucking stuffed animals. By the way, why are there weapons on your wall? This prison is a fucking madhouse. Like, you people. Goes, you know, this is taxpayer money.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing around here? Like, this is a fucking prison.
I want to know the commentary of this movie if there is any.
The lady's just like, why is the warden living here? Why did you let a random prisoner become warden of this place? Do any of you actually work here? Chief, by the way, are you just a lady serving life sentence who put on a suit and said, now I'm the leader of this place? Did you guys just kill all the staff from this prison or something? What the fuck is going on?
And said, now I'm chief.
The chief goes, you know, we're paying taxpayer money to heat a fucking hot tub.
Yeah. With brown water, mind you.
I'm getting a fucking bill here. There's a pool boy tab.
There's a cabana boy now.
What is this in the budget? A cabana boy? What the fuck are you people doing?
80 VHS blank tapes delivered.
So instead of anybody getting fired, the chief goes, "Oh, can I be the warden now?" And the lady goes, "I don't see why not."
Yeah.
And the chief is like, "Look, I promise I'll figure out what happened within 48 hours. I'll do a full investigation." And the lady from the Department of Correction goes, "Okay, well, if you do that, you could definitely be the warden. I'll recommend you. Everything else seems up on the up and up, though. Other than that warden mysteriously dying by drowning in his own tub. Why he had a tub, we don't know.
We just won't probe any further.
Fuck it.
Precious resources, precious time.
It's your prison. You do what you want."
We take a hands-off approach in this government here.
So the lady leaves, and then the creep. Okay, so that lady leaves, and then the creep guy just comes in from a random door. And I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? He just comes in, and then the chief is like, "All right, well, we need to set up somebody. Let's just set up Erica." And the guy's like, "Oh, Erica." And she looks at me and goes, "Yeah, what do you care? She's just some whore." And she's like, "Look, I know you like her. Yeah, I know you like her. Because we're going to have to choose. It's between me or that whore." Ugh. And he's like, "Okay, well, I'll choose you. That'll be easy enough." You'll be the new warden. We can have our free range on this prison. We can do whatever the fuck we want. I can break girls out of jail. I can run a nice prostitution ring. We got it all set up, baby. Mm-hmm. So then we go back to the cell, and then so the female guard is setting up Erica. She just puts stuff in a mattress. And then we go back to the rape cell. Okay, so this part, so Linda served some prison food, and the guard says, "Sorry, we're all out of sushi," and gives it to her. And I write, how would this be any different from the normal food they just get?
Yeah, do they actually serve sushi at one point?
"Sorry, we're out today. You gotta have the gruel."
It's only filet mignon. Sorry.
But this is the most pathetic attempt to show prison food. It's just on that metal tray, and it's like somebody opened a can of split pea soup and just poured it on a fucking tray. Mm-hmm. And I write, well, how is this any different than the normal food? And I write, what did they make it extra gross today? Is this any different? They make 2 meals. They're like, "Oh no, you got to make her something special, So then we go back to the cell, and then the chief, the guard, and the Department of Corrections lady come in, and they just get the shit that guard hid in the mattress. Okay, this part makes no fucking sense. So they take out all this stuff, and there's all these drugs and the nightstick that was used to kill Val.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Yeah, and it's still got blood on it." And then the lady from the Department of Corrections takes in her hand, Chris, and what's she do?
Yep, it matches her blood all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
She just doesn't even look. She looks at for 1 second. "Oh, it matches the blood." I'm not right. How?
It's the same color.
And then not only does she say it matches the blood, then she starts she takes the fucking nightstick in one hand and starts hitting her hand, the other hand with it, And I'm like, hello, that's evidence.
Yeah.
And you're just fucking hitting your own hand with it, getting blood all over the place, just being, "Oh, it matches. Open and shut." And then basically Erica's all pissed. She's like, what the fuck? I didn't murder anybody. And they're like, "You're a bitch. You're dead." And then basically the chief says, "Put her in the hole." Erica spits at the chief's face, and the chief just beats the shit out of her. And then all these ladies start hissing at the chief, and she's just like, "You all want to go to the hole? You all want to go to the hole? I'm the new warden of this fucking bitch." And I write, there's 18 minutes left in this movie. How will it end? Where the fuck will this end up? Go to the rape cell. Linda's told she can leave. Then we go to the main cell. Linda comes in and she says she has a solution. And I write, no. Shut the fuck up, Linda. Just shut the fuck up. God. The other girls don't want to listen. They're like, "Oh, we're going to listen to this girl." And then eventually they do. And Linda says, "We need to bust Erica out." I write, "No." Mm-mm. And then we need to have a riot so we can grab a tape. And I write, No. Linda, shut the fuck up. Go to your fucking bed. Go to sleep. Wake up. Eat your fucking prison food. Do your fucking laundry. Play checkers. Play hopscotch. Shut the fuck up and just live and just serve your goddamn 18 months.
If I were her cellmates, I would have taken all the bed sheets and all the inmates and wrapped her up in the bed sheets and probably maybe
just tied her to the bed and say, "You won't do any more harm."
No, I would have rendered her unconscious and left her down in the tombs in a dark little area, never to be found again.
Just put her in that escape tube. Nobody mind. They'd just be like, where'd that one girl that kept getting in trouble go? Yeah, we didn't know. She died. She drowned in that tub.
It's just a skeleton with a nice perm when they find it.
The next thing we're going to see is Linda face up in that tub. So also Linda says, if we do this, it'll mean better living conditions for all of us. And I write, no, it won't.
Where are they getting this idea?
So then all the girls agree for some reason, and then they just go start a riot. So basically this riot starts, and like everybody's running around, and they free Erica, and now her and Duchess are friends. And I write, this is all so fucking stupid. Erica's like, says thanks to Linda. Yep. Then Linda goes into John Vernon's office and starts playing with the TV. And then she finds this VCR and starts playing the tape. And I write, why the fuck wouldn't the chief just get this from before?
Yeah. You know, that big investigation.
You know, the way the chief is, or the way Vernon was, right? He had to have told somebody about his porno collection. He's like, oh, chief, guess what? I get
this is the kill switch code in case I die.
Yeah. In case something goes wrong, I tape everything in my room.
Yeah.
But the chief didn't do anything. You're right. What an investigation. That's what I write. All the people in this movie are so fucking dumb. Linda watches the tape on the TV and she gets all mad, and then she ejects it, and then the crooked guard comes in. Then Duchess comes in. Linda runs out. Duchess beats up the guard and drowns her in a fucking fish tank, and then says the one-liner, I sure hope they can get the smell out of those fish. And this is the point when I break down, I go, this movie was released in theaters and it made money outside the prison. The creep guy and the chief are for some reason now running outside the prison. Like, what, they're trying to make a jailbreak? They found the escape hatch. They're like, let's get the fuck out of here. And then the chief goes, oh my God, we got to go back because we need to get the tape that I totally forgot to go get and should have gotten in the first place. And the creep guy goes, well, I'm not going to go back in there. And she's like, well, I need you. And he goes, you know what they say in China? They say chow. And then he runs. And he runs to his car, he tries to drive off, and then a female cop pulls a gun on him, and he says, hi, do you want to work for me? Yeah, you can't blame an honest guy for trying. It's like, okay. Go to the cell block. Erica and Duchess hide Linda in a room with the tape, and then these prisoners, they all grab that rapist cop, and then they give the knife to the woman that he raped.
And she's about to stab, but she hands it off to her homegirl, and she's about to do the stabbing, but she can't. She's like kind of
the girl who got raped.
Yeah, she kind of swipes away.
It goes on forever.
Oh God, yeah, it's almost extended over really long. And creepy guys on the ground like, you can't do it, you can't do it. Ah! And then she hands the knife over to her friend and
to Erica.
I can never remember their names because they're all the same to me. And she takes the knife and she's like, kind of like, oh well, I can. And he's like leaning his head back, his eyes are so closed, laughing. And then she just plunges it right into his neck.
And this is gory.
Yeah.
You see a knife plunge into a man's neck and blood start like pouring out. It's fucking graphic.
And it was actually a really good effect when it went in.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it was great.
And then all the other prisoners except the girl who got raped, who she's mortified, just start laughing. They're like, and it's like, Jesus Christ. And I write, well, I said one thing about the girl not doing it. I was like, I wouldn't do that either. Don't need a murder rap on your your parole hearing there. By Erica, she's probably serving life. She didn't give a fuck.
She just get for it.
So then we go to more riot. The police come in with gas. So like the police have showed up and they gas bomb. They have assault rifles and they just start shooting prisoners down at this point. We go to the basement, the tomb, and Erica's like trying to hide Linda in a laundry thing, but then the chief finds him and then beats up Erica with a laundry lid. Pretty easy fight. Then we get in this long chase, and the only good part of this chase is, so for some reason they end up in another random room. The geography of this prison is insane.
Yeah.
They start running up all these stairs, and then they end up in like a giant room with like doors, like just random doors and boxes, like cardboard boxes just piled all over the place. And Linda just looks at the chief and she goes, you'll never get it. And then the chief just walks over and just cold cocks Linda in like a pile of boxes. Like, this is such a good It's such a good punch. She literally walks over and just goes, "Hoo-ah!" And then Linda just goes, poof, like on this box. And then they get in this fight, and Linda runs away, and the chief like tries to shoot her gun at her, and they go all the way up to the roof of the prison now. And then for some reason, like the chief pulls out like, I don't know, it looks like some sort of Chinese finger trap.
Yeah, it's like a little leather medieval looking bondage whip stub.
And then Linda just tosses her off the roof of the
like
prison.
with no effort whatsoever. She charges, she's like, "Ah!" and kind of
Linda just goes,
shoulders her. Yeah.
And throws her off. And the best part is Linda does this like fist pump. She just goes like, when we see her dead body, she's like, yeah. And then Linda just walks back in. I guess the riot's over and it's calmed down and the cops have left. You know, no cleaning out cells or anything. Duchess and Erica are just sitting down and they go, did you get the tape? And she goes, yeah. And they go, all right, let's bring it to the cops.
Police, yeah. And they walk off and roll credits. Like, well, that resolved itself in a fucking whirlwind of what the fuckery.
Recommendation?
It's a weird one. I mean, it's for those curious. It's for John Vernon's character alone. It's funny.
Okay, if you're curious, yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, no.
Yeah,
no.
It's not worth the time.
I had such high hopes for this movie.
Me too.
And I was watching it going like, this is a fucking hot mess, this thing. There are some great moments, but god damn is this a bad movie. It is so bad it's kind of good in a way, but it is bad.
Yeah.
On our scale, because now I'm going to have a scale, okay?
Oh, okay.
The top of the top being Roommates, The Van, Savage Street. I would say some of the top of the tops,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, tippy
I'm not
top.
even going to put Last American Virgin there because that's in a whole other thing. It's just a good movie.
I'm saying,
it's a fun movie.
Switchblade Sisters is definitely
Switchblade
top of the top.
Sisters, yeah, top of the top,
Yeah.
we're talking. Low of the low, we have at the very deep bottom of that.
Lunch Wagon.
I'd say Black Devil Doll from Hell.
Oh, okay.
Black Devil Doll from Hell, then Lunch Wagon. Okay. On a scale of Black Devil Doll and Lunch Wagon to Switchblade Sisters, I put Chained Heat at about, I'd say better than Chatterbox.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Definitely better than Chatterbox.
It's one of the worst movies we've seen on this podcast.
So it's just a lot of wasted potential is what it is. It is a made-for-TV movie with stars that deserve better, that are wasted in their potential.
Yeah. made for Skinamax movie that was somehow released in the theaters. Okay, better than Roller Boogie or worse?
Worse.
Yeah, I'd say worse. I'd say Roller Boogie's a better one. If you're gonna check out a Linda movie from our Blair members so far, I say Roller Boogie. Get that one first.
Yeah.
Chain Heat, you gotta buy it on that DVD set. Hopefully Red Heat's a little bit better. Haven't watched it yet. Hopefully Jungle Warriors could be good, Don't know yet. But Chain Heat,
God damn it, Linda.
real disappointment.
Yeah.
Hear that sound?
Fuck you. Uh-oh. Here come the boys.
If this is the first time you join us on this podcast, you might be surprised to know that every podcast we go back to our first episode, 1977's The Van, starring Stuart Goetz and Danny DeVito, about a ginger boy who gets a van and has wild adventures trying to rape women in it. He would fit well into this prison. We always wonder, what crazy adventures would Bobby and DeVito get into after that movie? Chris, how would they fit into 1983's Chained Heat?
Well, Mike, I believe after this film ends, after the credit rolls, there are job postings for a warden and a chief. And we...
Yeah, they cleaned house in this prison.
Clean house. And we see this classifieds ad. This close-up of this classifieds. And it shows the position for warden and chief. And as we pull back, big newspaper in this big orange poof. And we just cut to black.
And DeVito goes, it's a female prison.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just hear, the wafting sounds of Sammy Johns echoing.
America, give her a ride on my wagon.
All right, I got another one.
All right.
Now, I always wanted that flashback scene. A Linda hitting a man with her car.
Yeah.
So my idea is, it's late at night on the cliffs of Malibu. And Linda's driving around after she just got an A on that midterm. She's a top of the world, high spirits, driving around with their friends in their convertible, going having a good old time. And then where you gonna find me? Where you gonna find me? They see this van parked on the side of the road, and then all of a sudden, a naked ginger boy runs in the middle of the street with a jug of wine in one hand and a bag of roofies in the other. And Linda goes, ah! hits this poor boy, and he just goes flying off this cliff.
Like a rocket.
Yeah, jettisoned like the lady in the movie The Kiss from the last episode.
Well, no, I'm thinking circus cannon.
You know, by the way, in the movie The Kiss, we never saw who that driver was.
We didn't.
Oh God! So Chris, what if I did a WWBD? What would Bronson do in this movie? What if Bronson was the fucking warden of this?
In that hot tub? You know, this water's a little brown. Unlike the way I like my women.
Janie too. Bronson's the new warden. He comes in and he, like in that scene in Kinjite when he goes, "Now that's justice." He's got the big smile on his face. They go, "Bronson, you're such a good cop. We're promoting you to prison warden of the female prison." And he goes, "Oh boy." And then he comes in and he's like, "I hear there's a lot of rapes in this prison. Sounds right up my alley."
Oh no. Come into my office. Bend over.
And he goes, "Oh, who's this girl serving 18 months?"
And the cycle begins again. Life begins anew.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. Well, if you enjoyed this show, please rate and review us on iTunes. We'd really enjoy that. You can find us on grindhousefilm.com. You can email us directly at grindbin@gmail.com. If you have a recommendation for our show, oh, well, everybody does. But you can get that recommendation to the top of the bin.
Fast-tracked, if you will.
By rating and reviewing us on iTunes and sending me fucking proof.
Screen grabs, take a picture of the screen itself if you're low tech.
Or just tell me your username.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
When I see that review come up and I see, 1 star, thanks a lot, you mother...
Yeah, in fact, don't think that if you rate and review the show and leave like 2 or 3 stars, we're going to be like, oh, top of the bin for you.
Well, it's not, you don't have to give it 5.
Right.
But if you don't give it 5, fuck you. I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing? If you don't give it 5, just don't review it, please.
Yeah,
just
please.
fuck off.
Anything less than 5, we don't want to hear it.
But thanks again for listening.
And don't forget to hit that purple rectangular subscribe button in iTunes. We would greatly appreciate that as well. Bobby, open the prison doors.
So Black Double D.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Yeah, I made the team. But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky ain't got no real poach.
Hello, pizza man.
We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
You could have looked decent once in a while. And maybe Daddy would decide to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore.
What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get creamed